The days are longer, the calendar is filling up, and I want to feel as good as this beautiful summer weather. That's why I've been loving Groons. It's one daily pack of gummies that covers my greens, vitamins, and minerals, and even has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber. So I don't need to juggle a complicated wellness routine on top of everything else. They taste amazing. They're easy to toss in my bag on the go. Plus, they're vegan, gluten-free, and HSA, FSA eligible for reimbursement. Save up to 52% off with promo code podcast at gruns.co. That's code podcast at gruns.co.
Security threats are everywhere. But with Xfinity XFi, you're notified of threats to your in-home Wi-Fi network, so all your connected devices are protected. That's simple, easy, awesome. Go online, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit today. Restrictions apply.
Welcome back to TalkNorth.com. Thank you for listening. If you can, please download before you listen. It helps our business. I'd also like to thank our producer, Brandon Morton, and let you know if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the programs on the network, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. I'm at Michael Russo's new house, and it's spectacular. I feel privileged. I was able to pass all the security tests to be able to allow it. And so I'll tell you things I like about your place and things I don't like about your place.
Okay.
I love the helipad. I think that's great.
Thank
Dignitaries can just land in your backyard and walk right up. I think your butler's a little pushy.
Yeah.
The moat, I think, is a little overdone.
Yeah, well, that's to keep Russo's slacks out.
Yeah, well, it's and good luck with that. And I love that your Wi-Fi password is Grey Poupon.
Yeah,
I think that fits you.
Exactly. I have multiple Wi-Fi passwords for this place, depending on the people.
And he wouldn't even tell me what they were.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, no, it's been cool so far. As you can see, I've done a lot of unpacking.
Actually, your place looks great.
No, it's really nice. Amazing how much I've gotten done. Greenlight's coming over to hang some stuff today. Yep, he got concerned.
There's a joke in there somewhere. I'm just not sure what it is.
Well, that guy, he's handy. But I think he got concerned the other day when I asked him that when I use the stud finder, when I find the stud, does that mean I hang it there or don't hang it there? And I wasn't even kidding.
When he does something like when he has to get down on the ground or something, he just go butterfly.
Yeah. That's a good question. I'll ask him that. The other thing he got concerned about is I told him I was using like the 3M command strips to hang stuff, and he's like, "Let me just come over." And then he doesn't even know that I have other things on a list to ask him. Like, hey, if I wanted to do this,
Does he carry his Moscow Mule mug everywhere he goes?
Yeah, he does. So that'll be fun to get some stuff hung, and then I'm pretty much done. I got a couple blinds to hang up. And then when you move into a place in the middle of winter, there's still a lot of stuff exterior that they've got to do. So still got a patio to build, a driveway, a sidewalk, some grass.
Well, my wife will be over because she's looking for ideas for our place. Nice. So she'll be checking.
Well, I'm nothing if not a designer.
That's exactly what you took the words right out of her mouth.
Yeah,
that's why they're never in her mouth.
Yeah.
This is the Russo-Souhan Show, and we are going to talk hockey after a big loss against the Avalanche. We're talking here on a Wednesday morning after the Tuesday night loss. This show is part of the TalkNorth.com podcast network. Great people on the network: Roy Smalley, Jeff Diamond, John Krasinski, Cheryl Reeve, Tim Yoder, et cetera, et cetera. Check out TalkNorth.com, subscribe at iTunes, whatever. Thanks to Brandon, our producer. If you want to advertise with us, you can reach us at TalkNorthPodcast@gmail.com. Please download before you listen, and you follow us on Twitter at TalkNorthPod for live show times, etc. Thanks to our current sponsors, Twill and the Dining Galleria, BiteSquad.com, Fixology Repair, and Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent Champlin. I think Tony has a question for you later. Let's start with this. it's so easy this time of the year to say, okay, big loss, okay, big win. The reality is they're just kind of treading water. They're 1 point out. They could go forwards, they could go backwards. So how do you judge their situation as of this morning?
They're not good enough. I mean, they're just not good enough. You don't go 2, 6, and 3, I think, in their last, whatever that would be, 11 home games. That's wrong, actually.
We get the point, though.
Yeah. They went. They went 0-3-1 on that 4-game homestand in late February, where they blew 2 huge leads against the Flyers and the Devils, and then they went 1-3-1 on this homestand. So that's 1-6 and 2. You don't do that in the last 9 home games and expect to make the playoffs. They're just not good enough. They're not going to suddenly go 8-0 down the stretch here, and they're definitely not going to go 5-0 on the road. They never win in Washington. Let me just tell you, they better not take the Hurricanes lightly. That team will light them up. They might be the fastest team I've seen this year. Just watching them a lot lately. That is a fast team. So, I mean, this is I hate to say it's over, but it's like I told you on the last podcast. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. They're not good enough. They're just not, especially when you take away the fact that Granlund, Coyle, and Niederreiter are gone. And this is kind of what I wrote, when I prepped the fans, that sources were telling me that Paul Fenton had the ability to do whatever he wanted in February, even if it meant taking a step back and not making the playoffs. And this is the reality. You look around the room, and there's a bunch of guys that, give you hope because they're 22 years old, but they should not be in top 9 roles right now. Like Jordan Greenway, Luke Cunnin, even Ryan Donato, although I thought he was fabulous last night, Kevin Fiala. These guys are going to be good players at some point, but they're not top 9 guys for a team that wants to make the playoffs right now. That is the reality. And we're seeing it. If Stahl, Parise, and Zucker don't produce, this team has no chance, and we're seeing that right now. I think that it's going to be a painful next 3 or 4 games. And let's be honest on this one. If they don't go 3-0 in the next 3 games against Nashville at home and in Raleigh and Washington, what do you think is going to happen during those 4 or 5 off days next week between the time that they play Nashville and in Vegas? The standings are going to pretty much spread apart. And they've had so many opportunities last week of teams losing. Arizona, giving them the opportunity by taking care of business, so to speak, and losing in Tampa. The season would have ended right there if they'd won in Tampa. So here they constantly just don't take advantage of their opportunities. So this is just the reality of the situation, and even if they somehow squeaked in, what are they going to do in the playoffs? But they're not squeaking in. They're not. I mean, I hate to tell you.
I really also think that, Brudor brought it up a month ago or whatever. I think the LA Kings, by sneaking in that one time as an 8 seed and winning it all, have kind of cast this unrealistic version of what can happen with an 8 seed. I mean,
Drew Doughty, Anze Kopitar, Jeff Carter. I think Mike Richards was on that team. A young Tyler Toffoli and Tanner Pearson. Jonathan Quick and net. That was not a real 8th team. Every player I just mentioned is better than anybody on the Wild. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So,
hey, tonight, if you hear this in time, tonight, Wednesday, March 20th, before I head down to Des Moines to cover Gopher men's basketball, we're going to run the Cheryl Reeve Show at the Poorhouse in downtown Minneapolis. The Minnesota Whitecaps are going to come by, show off the trophy, and join us. So if you're a hockey fan, like women's hockey, like women's sports, show up there. We are working on finding the Russo Show another live home, and hopefully we'll have some news for you on that front soon. And we want to thank our long-running loyal sponsor, Twill in the Edina Gallery, twillmn.com. Check them out at Twill on Instagram. Beautiful photos of all their stuff. Or on their website, sportswear, outerwear, tailored clothing, accessories, great gift ideas, great brands. I wear them all the time. And, of course, this time of the year, great time to go in and freshen up your golf and outdoor apparel.
Jim usually doesn't like to shop for clothes. I don't like it when he shops for clothes either, because he used to buy stuff I'd want to throw out. That's why I'm so glad he's found Twill in the Edina Galleria. He likes shopping there because of the comfortable environment and the friendly staff. He finds clothes that actually fit him properly and are high-quality brands that will look great for years, whether he's golfing or working. Our favorites so far are Peter Millar, Johnny O, and Barber. We spend our money at Twill because we love the clothes and we love the no-pressure shopping. Drop by Twill in the Edina Galleria for the best shopping experience and best clothes you'll find in the Twin Cities.
Yeah, it's springtime now. I think everybody
I
should
know.
go to
How
Twill.
about that?
Well, I mean, look at the weather outside.
Absolutely.
And apparently this weekend it's going to be unbelievable.
In fact, closed circuit to Scott Dayton. We still need to get out and do a show at your place. We keep kind of with the travel schedule. We haven't gotten that done. But if we don't do it this season, we'll definitely do it this summer.
Is there a helipad on top of the Galleria? Because I could just take that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. Yeah. Absolutely. So, the Avalanche game, I thought it was a classic case of the Wild being good enough to give themselves a million chances, not good enough to finish.
Yeah, I mean it's typical of them. They make one mistake, a breakaway, it ends up in their net. But they miss Zucker misses the empty net. Stahl doesn't get all of a one-timer and is robbed. Zucker has another shot that is so much embodied this season that gets through Grubauer and then trickles somehow wide of the post. Victor Rask has a freaking breakaway essentially and loses the puck, then stick handles in the corner. Kevin Fiala is turning pucks over left and right on the power play. How about that? Ryan Donato on the 4th and 5th power plays the game before against the Islanders sets up 2 goals. And then what does Dean Evison do to start yesterday? Puts Fiala back on the number 1 unit. I don't know. It's unbelievable to me. And there just comes a point like...
Is that Evison hearing something from
Probably.
Fenton?
I don't know. I mean, but there comes a point, like you asked Bruce about this, and Bruce is like, I don't pick the power play guys. Well, there just comes a point, too, is like your job, you are going to get fired in 8 games. There comes a point you've got to do it your way, right? I kind of got why Kevin Fiala started the game with Luke Cunnin and Jordan Greenway yesterday over Donato. Look, anybody that is attached to Aberg and Rask right now is drawing the short straw. But last night's a perfect example where you don't have Koivu and you don't have Eriksson Ek, so you got to go with Cunnin against the McKinnon line. And so I think they wanted the speed of Fiala there, which I absolutely get. But then what happens when they change Donato and Fiala? The game opens up and the Wild have a ton of chances. Like Donato last night was fabulous. I love that move by Fenton. It was time for Coyle to go. To me, it was time for Niederreiter to go too, but they should have gotten more.
Get enough.
Yeah. They, so that's that simple. I still don't know. I don't think Fiala is going to become the player that.
What do you think's missing?
Well, he definitely doesn't have the finish yet. I'm still trying to walk the fence a little bit because he's 22 and that could come. But he has goals in 1 of 11 games with the Wild. That's not a quote game breaker. And he just coughs up pucks left and the turnovers are extraordinary. How many times he turns the puck over. It's crazy that a player this good is so reckless. Last night, I didn't think that it could get worse than the Islander game. Last night was worse. The power play, the one where he's skating the ice and just is stripped. He's a minus 17 on the season, and he came from a first-place team. That's just, it's not going to happen until he buys in and protects the puck a little more. You can't just continually cough up pucks the way that he does. So, I don't know. And then the other thing is, that's another thing. Like, if the number 1 unit is going to play a minute 40 of every power play, then Brad Hunt needs to be on it over Suter. Same thing in the last minute of the game. Like, I'd rather Hunt, but Ryan's the boss. Mm-hmm. It's like it's nuts to me.
What cracks me up about Suter is when he does speak to the media, it's always like this gee shucks, gee whiz. It's kind of like Joe Mauer speak.
And look, I like Ryan a lot, but his way of talking to the media, like the other night when I asked him about the winning goal. He does it in such a polite, nice way. It's almost like, please don't trash me.
Right.
It's like he's trying to, treat everyone with the most respect. He always ends his interviews with sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't say more.
So I don't know. It's just, it's frustrating. And there just comes a point where it's like, it just comes a point where maybe Bruce just wants to say, maybe Bruce is like, you know what? I'll just go down with the ship. Because if you're the coach, do you and again, I'm not trying to rip into the stuff that Fenton's done here, but just think of this from a global standpoint now. If you're Bruce Boudreau, how have you been helped this season? last summer, the additions of Greg Patterson, who I actually think has been, for the most part, good. He went through a really tough month in the middle of the season, but he does his job. He is what he is. He's a 6. He's a 5 or a 6. He's playing up because of the Dumba injury. But even since he's been back with Brodin, to me, he's been fine for the most part. If he's playing 20 minutes, I know fans go crazy sometimes with his turnovers or his, but he is what he is. He's a 6 playing 4 right now. So, I don't blame him for that. So, Patterson, okay? But JT Brown, playing better lately, but let's be honest, has not done anything this season.
Right.
Eric Fair, he is what he is. He's had a good year, but he is what he is. He's a 4th-line center at this point in his career. Matt Hendricks was a 16th forward in the NHL, but came here to take care of the locker room. And let me just promise you, when he went to Winnipeg, I pretty much guarantee you that he was like, okay, that locker room was worse than I thought it was.
Really?
That's just my guess. And then in the season, Donato's been awesome, but Rask, come on. Aberg, come on. Boteto, come on. Brett Hunt is what he is. He's a 7. But he's a power play specialist that doesn't ever get on the power play. Because he's playing 20 seconds of every power play. And then when you could use his incredible shot in the last minute of games, he doesn't get on there. So it's not like Bruce has had a lot of help here. And he had Niederreiter, Coyle, and Granlund taken away from him. Now, again, I see what Paul's trying to do. This team wasn't good enough. He recognized it, and he started to tear it apart, which is what he was tasked here to do at some point. But from a coaching standpoint, it certainly hasn't helped Bruce's cause this year. So, if you're Bruce Boudreau, do you really want to come back?
Yeah.
I'm sure he does, but he's getting paid no matter what.
Right.
So, I don't know. I got to think he's a frustrated coach right now. You see it on his face. Last night he was resigned to the fate. He knows. He's not an idiot. He's coached this league forever. He's coached in professional hockey forever. He's in the freaking AHL Hall of Fame. One of the winningest coaches in AHL history. Second best regular season points percentage in the history of the National Hockey League. Think he doesn't know that this team really has to go 7-1, 8-0 right now? We could all pretend they're still only a point out. No, they're not. Okay? You don't go, as I said, 6-2 or whatever it is in the last 9 or 10 home games and make the playoffs. You just don't.
That was a good rant. Let's catch up with some of our sponsors. Fixologyrepair.com, downtown in the Skyway, just south of the Wells Fargo Center. Also, Mall of America, 3rd floor by Nordstrom's. Thanks to John Hedges for continuing to support the podcast. And hey, listen, we're able to do this show. We're able to run the network because of our sponsors. We appreciate them. Please patronize them. Please take advantage of their services. They're good people. Also, BiteSquad.com runs a promo. If you haven't ever ordered from Bite Squad before, go to BiteSquad.com, go to the Bite Squad app, type in Talk North, all caps, one word. You'll get your first delivery fee waived. But even if you don't, even if you used Bite Squad before, use them again. They can save you dishes. They can save you having to find a parking spot, having to get a table, having to wait in line, having to do a lot of things that you have to do when you have to go out, especially in bad weather or late at night. If you have kids, it simplifies your life. BiteSquad.com, they've been great to us. So, again, patronize FixologyRepair.com for all your tablet, watch, repair type needs, and take care of BiteSquad.com as well.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at Fixologyrepair.com or at FixologyMN on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
You want to hear a funny text exchange?
Yes, I do.
So this is me and Greenlay chatting before about him going to Home Depot. I'm sending pictures of the stuff I need him to hang. So the last one I sent him is this gigantic thing. I bought this Michael Brower XL Energy Center print, and I bought this frame at Michael's Art yesterday for $65. And so first I send him a picture of the back of the frame, and he has to write me. He goes, "That last picture you sent isn't the hooks to hang on; it's to hold the picture in the frame." So then I sent him the right hooks, and then I go, haha, okay, 4 of these, 2 on the side up high, 2 oddly positioned on the top and the bottom. He goes, Now this is at 8:57 this morning. Yes, that's the hang it. Probably run a wire across it. 8:58. So a minute later, probably 30 seconds, I go, scratch the frame. I just smashed the glass. And the glass shattered everywhere. I was taking the thing that he said would held the back of the print in the frame.
Yep.
And I picked it up and I undid it and I turned it over and went.
See, you and I are the type of people we should never try to do anything ourselves.
Yep. Speaking of which, I just stabbed myself with a shard of that glass.
Just hire other people to do it.
Just
spilled water.
You might want to move.
Yeah, I might want to move. Oh my God.
Hey, why don't we pause
Good
everything?
Lord. I guess we're going to pause everything, people.
There we go.
Okay. I guess we need some kind of home improvement store or maybe a hospital to sponsor us now because you are cutting yourself, spilling water all over your new house. My wife loves watching like cooking shows.
Yeah.
And she loves reading about like home and home model and all that kind of stuff. I think he's bleeding. Michael Russo's bleeding. I think this would be a great reality show.
Let me just, I'll just give a little recap for Russo Slacks on what just happened. So, as I was telling the shard of glass story, I literally stabbed myself with one of the shards of glass. Then, as I was picking the shard of glass out of my finger, I just spilled an entire glass of water on this wooden table. And now I am looking and I'm like, I don't know how I didn't see this, but this table right where I'm sitting is just covered with shards of glass. You have a Band-Aid?
I don't. It's your house. Just have your butler tape it up.
Yeah, this is pretty painful.
All right. Well, Mr. Russo Slacks, the great Twitter parody account, second only to Devin's cow. I think you have been given the mother load here. You can do all kinds of things with your Photoshop. Genius.
Yeah.
Michael's sitting here bleeding.
Well, we definitely know the title of the show. Russo stabs himself with a shard of glass in the middle of the podcast. Is that too long?
That's too long. Just
Brandon,
Russo
is that
stabs
too long?
himself. Just Russo stabs himself.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to. We're going to do Twitter
I think
questions.
shard of glass would make people listen, don't you think?
If
we at The Athletic, we're all about knowing the right words to get hits.
The reality is, Michael, if they already listen, they don't have great taste anyway. So, we can pretty much throw anything we want out there.
There's really so much little glass.
There's so much little glass. Let's go to Twitter. I'm going to ask you one question. You mentioned the locker room. What is wrong with this locker room?
I don't know. I mean, it's just they're all been together forever. Everybody's tired of each other. Last night, last night, I don't know. Like, I'm sitting in the locker room and I'm like listening to all. I didn't even know what to ask. It's like,
I know, I hate that feeling.
Even my story, like, you could just tell. It's like, let's put it this way: when I packed up, usually I'm the last one out of the press box. I got up yesterday and people were commenting, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm done. I hit period, sent. Even my editor, Zach Pierce, when I told him that, when I sent him a Slack, I said, hey, I'm in with a smiley face. He goes, oh boy. Because usually he gets the story like an hour later.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it's like, so even me, it's just like, you're kind of like, are you kidding me? Like, what do you even ask after last night? You can't be like, right anymore about their effort. They're just not good enough. So
yeah. All right, let's go to Twitter questions from John Tomlinson.
You have a dustpan?
I don't.
Okay.
He's not with me. From John Tomlinson, is it hard to write the same story over and over, but try and find some new nugget? I love Stahl, but he's getting slower, and his 2-year extension, while affordable, fills a center spot. We need to upgrade.
I agree. I don't get the extension. First round pick and a player from the Bruins. I have from sources there.
Yep.
And they chose to re-sign him, and you could have re-signed him this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't get it. And this is, as somebody always says to me, this game. It doesn't. You go from here to here, and nobody's seeing what I'm saying. But you don't.
Michael's holding his bleeding pinky up high and then moving it low and getting blood all over his table.
You don't. This game doesn't allow you to get old gracefully. And that's what I'm seeing right now. I don't think he's hurt.
So this is just it, huh?
Yeah.
Let's go to Kyler Vassford, longtime listener. Let's. By the way, did you have a question for Tony Hoaglund?
Yes, Tony just asked me about Jimmy Schultz and what the chances of the Wild to sign him. And I don't know if Jimmy Schultz is watching the Wild, he might not, what I just said about Brad Hunt. I mean, do you want to play behind Suter and Brodin? That could be a problem. This kid is stud. He's going to have every team going after him. The one team that I'm hearing that might go after him is the Vegas Golden Knights hard. I think that would probably intrigue anybody. But look, burning a year. The thing is that everybody will burn a year for Jimmy Schultz. So I don't think that would push him over the top to come here. It's just whether or not a kid from Minnetonka would be interested in playing it for his hometown team. The Matt Robson thing, what I didn't see coming, and the reason why, look, I've been saying on this podcast for weeks, there's a lot of water over there. What I've been saying on this podcast for weeks that the Wild were going to go hard after Matt Robson, there are two reasons why I started to think the Wild were going to get him, is that somebody very close to him at the U told me that he has a ton of opportunities and that he didn't think that he would choose Minnesota because they're just one of many opportunities. But then what happened is they said, you know what, we'll burn a year. And so that, I think, I bet you the Wild were the only team willing to carry 3 goalies the rest of the way. And so that allows him to, be here rather than going to Iowa, really practice with the NHL team, even though there's not going to be a ton of practices here, and take some shots, get acclimated, and heck, if this team gets eliminated, maybe even play. Who knows? Yeah. So that was the difference and why Matt Robson chose here. He also had an incredible, what I didn't realize until I saw them embrace last night, is that Brian Hunter, who's an incredible amateur scout for the Wild, he's been here for a long time, really forged a great relationship with this kid. And I think that meant a lot to the Wild's ability to sign him. But to Jimmy Schultz, I think the Wild are one of many teams going after him. I can tell you from talking to his advisor here, same thing on Matt Robson. I'm not getting the impression the Wild have a great shot for the reason that I told you at the very beginning. I think defensemen are wary of if Ryan Suter played 28 minutes 2 nights ago. That hurts you to get guys that want to eventually be behind that.
That question was brought to you by Tony Hoaglund, a longtime sponsor. Tony runs State Farm Insurance out of Champlin. He handles my insurance. He handles Michael's insurance. He also is now offering financial services. And Tony's a great guy, very trustworthy, very efficient. Hoaglund.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoaglund. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number one in car insurance since World War II and number one in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
All right, Kyler Vasfaret, how does a guy like Aberg that plays as lazy as he does make it to the NHL? I saw him sidestep an Abs player in the corner on the forecheck rather than be bothered with battling for a puck.
It's not even. I completely agree. He'll be in the KHL next year. The Wild should not qualify him. Right. It's a bad message to send. He's not good enough. And, again, I don't know how much there's a reason why a guy that skilled was scratched in Anaheim, who at the time was awful. And I don't know how much Paul scouted him down the stretch. It cost him, a minor leaguer that was never going to get an opportunity here. As much as fans out there probably love Justin Kluse, the writing was on the wall that he was never getting a shot here. So, and my guess is that, like a lot of GMs do, they look at players with scouts' eyes, and Paul Fenton drafted him, and probably still is like, come on, I know the guy's skill level, but we haven't even seen the skill level. Right. He has shown nothing other than a great shot in Nashville that should have been stopped. Let's be honest, it was a terrible goal. So I agree. And unfortunately, again, you're Bruce Boudreau. This isn't, I'm not even talking about, like I said before, about like how are you helped this year. Think of also since the trade deadline how he's been handicapped. He can't make there's no competition that he can allow. There's no extra bodies, so he can't. You think that he wants to play Aberg? He finally took him off the power play, but you think he wants to play Aberg? He would scratch him in a freaking heartbeat. So.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for the deep sigh. We got it from Ted.
The good news is that my blood clotted.
Yeah,
So
I was
no
worried
longer
about
bleeding.
you. I was worried about you bleeding out. From Ted, it's like a pinprick. It's like the smallest cut I've ever seen. I can't believe it's even bleeding. From Ted, Angry Gopher Schmenky.
It was a shard of glass that was embedded, Jim.
You're right. You
That's
know what?
why.
It's not as bad as you hurting your finger, pulling up your socks. I will admit that.
That's true.
From-
That lasted
that was-
forever. I have another. You know that game Spike Ball?
No, I don't know what that is.
Spike Ball is this cool game. It's not meant for people with my athleticism and lack of speed, but it's this cool thing. It's like a volleyball game with a ball, and you spike it on this little trampoline type thing, and you play with like 3 other people. And my friend Reed will love this story because he listens to every podcast. Lives in North Carolina. I'm playing with him and his brothers, Rolf and Ross, who, by the way, the parents, his mom and stepfather, their mom and stepfather, gave me a Weber grill for a housewarming
Oh
present.
my God.
Yeah, how about that? But anyway, so I'm playing spike ball with them a couple summers in
I'll
Michigan.
give you one charcoal briquette.
Yes. No, it's gas. And
I'll still give you one
And-
charcoal briquette.
I sent a picture of the Weber grill to Anthony LaPanta. I said, hey, what do I do with this contraption? And he goes, keep it in bubble wrap so you don't blow up your house.
Yeah, I think that's the right answer. Well done, Mr. LaPanta.
So I'm playing spike ball, and I jam my thumb against my giant left thigh. And it was like an 8-month injury. I had to go get treatment. I knew I was like sitting on a massage, like on a, like honestly, a physical therapy, and the guy was massaging my thumb with like icy hot, and gave me like a
You got a
splint,
thumb massage.
and gave me like a splint for it. I haven't played. I've refused to play spike ball
A thumb
since.
massage. Have you heard of that before?
Well, I went to spike the ball, and I went a little too far and nailed my thumb with
So if you jam your thumb on your thigh, is that an upper body injury or a lower body injury?
No, it was definitely upper. It freaking hurt. Months. I thought it was like permanently done.
You know what you are? You are questionable for the rest of your life.
Yeah. It's a great podcast.
It's as good as any.
Found more glass.
From Ted, Angry Gopher Schmenky. Serious question: is Joel Quenneville interested in the wild job?
Why would he be?
Yeah, I know, and he's not going to get it over. That's not going to work.
And I mean, is Bruce is I mean, he could get $6 million a year anywhere. Is if Minnesota even was willing to pay that type of salary? You know, again, I don't think there's a good enough coach that could deal with this right now. So it would take a sales pitch, but there's going to be a lot of teams that I think are interested in Joel. And he's got his pick of the thing. He can go to Seattle. He could wait for, I don't know. I mean, I could wait for St. Louis. I've got to think if St. Louis, even as good a job as Craig Berube's done, if St. Louis thinks they could get him. When you do that, Flyers are going to need a coach probably. Who else? If Dallas Eakins doesn't go to Anaheim, maybe Anaheim, maybe LA. LA needs a coach. Remember, Desjardins an interim. If you're a Chicago guy, like just spent all your time in the big city and loved it, like Joel Quenneville, wouldn't going to California intrigue you? Especially a team like Anaheim, by the way, that has a ton of prospects coming. So Flyers, same thing. I mean, just think of the prospect pools of all these teams. I mean, the Flyers right now are built for success long term. So I just doubt it.
From Keith Rushavi, he asks a slightly different question. Do you think
Florida?
Do you think Boudreau has lost the room and they need a change?
I don't know. Who cares if he lost
I
the
know.
room? These guys need to stop. Every coach loses the room on this team.
That is very true.
I'm so tired of the losing the room stuff.
Yep. From V. Vennet, can we blame the poor home record this year on changing the goal song from "Let's Go Crazy"?
Well, we've only heard it 100 times in the XL Energy Center, so maybe they will change it again.
From Shorzy, will you be having a blank counter installed in your new kitchen? She mentioned a coffee company that I'm not going to give any free pub to. I don't see.
I just bought a new Mr. Coffee maker, and now I have to
you know
buy
what you need to do.
Yeah.
You need to get a hold of berrycoffee.com. They sell great stuff for your home. It'll be like top-end, top-notch coffee and top-notch coffee makers. They sponsor the Smalley Show. They're great people. Let me know after the show if you want to hear about it. Because that's what I'm going to do at my place. I'm going to get Berry Coffee's stuff.
Yep.
From Andrew Richter. I'm sorry. That was a baseball question. I have quite a mix of things in my feed. Let's see. From Alec, did Does Russo need your permission to enter your presence? I don't get that one. Let's see, from Ms. N. Forgive if this has been covered. How is Dumba? Has Miko had his surgery yet? And what the heck is wrong with Eck? Good questions.
Yeah, Miko had his surgery. X took a lot of weight from Brent Burns on about 6 different times on that skirmish. I pointed it out at the time. And he's got a lower body injury. I'll just I'm trying to do my best to respect Paul Fenton's wishes, and if a guy's going to come back, not give away his injury. What was the first question?
Dumba, how is he?
Dumba's fine, but again, I mean, I don't. As I reported at the time, he was probably missing the year, and so I don't get why we're getting all these questions like, asking for Dumba updates. It's not gonna. What's it matter? He's not coming back by the end of the season, and even if he did, what
He
good
couldn't
is?
play.
Yeah.
From Aaron Berger, is there a reason why Gorg always seems to ask the first question of the post-game press coverage?
That's
an FSN thing.
Yeah. Well, no,
Oh, it's not?
I don't know if it's a rule by FSM, but we kind of let him do it.
Okay.
And then I come in second. It's kind of become like a thing.
Yeah. From let's see. Let me find another good question here before we wrap up. From Richard, do you think Craig Leopold looks at the guys that Fenton brought in, not named Donato and Fiala, and is second-guessing himself hiring Fenton as GM?
I don't know about that. I don't think so. I thought it was bizarre, the whole Matt Robson video the other day, and Craig in there with him like they had signed Ken Dryden. I don't. It was weird to me. I mean, he's a college free agent. I once wrote a 50-inch Casey Wellman feature for the Star Tribune.
That's so you.
But hopefully he becomes like Cam Talbot, Carter Hutton, Dwayne Rolson. Hey, Nick Backstrom's the winningest goalie in Minnesota Wild history, and he was a European free agent. So
Right.
that's no slight on it. I just thought the whole thing was strange. I don't know. I mean, look, I mean, Craig's not blind. This has been a miserable season. But he's given me no indication that he regrets hiring Paul at all.
From Bobarino, what do you think Donato's and Fiala's contracts look like this summer? 2 times $1 million prove-it contracts, all as Zucker's post ELC.
I don't know if $1 million's cheap. Is little, and I got to think it's going to be more than $1 million. Zucker, what was he, a 2-year, 2.5 at one point? I think that's too much. They haven't proven even close to what Zucker proved at that point. But I haven't looked it up, but it's not going to be crazy, crazy money. They saved about $8.5 million in the moves, but if those guys take up, say, 4.5, then they got about $4 million extra to spend this offseason. But actually, that's not true because then they re-signed Stahl. So actually, the money's kind of eaten up that they saved on all this money.
2 more questions, unless you have a final thought. We'll let you have a final thought if you want about your house or whatever else. From Mike Johnson, if the Wild were to make the playoffs, can they play all their games on the road? Good question. From Jer, do the Wild put Kovanov and Sokolov together next year? Russian players always play better together.
I don't know. I mean, they're going to play on the same team next year. If Kovanov's Sokolov's a 4th liner down there, so I hope they're not playing together.
For the final thought, I would like you to either express pain over your, brutally damaged pinky, or just give us a final sigh.
Final sigh. I'm trying to think.
Well, how do you like being a homeowner?
I've been blocking a lot of people on Twitter lately. People are just so mean these days.
They are.
And
you know what? What I found out is because, on the one hand, in our positions, social media really matters. It drives subscriptions, it drives followers, it drives interest. But there's a point at which it's like, I always say, if you owned a restaurant, would you let somebody walk into your restaurant and spray paint nasty words on the wall?
Yeah.
No. So I think it's a mental health issue to block people who are just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. I had one guy during the state tournament go off on me for asking or saying that my story. Do you know how much the Athletic spends per year on travel?
$1 million?
Over 7 figures.
Yeah.
And this guy had the audacity to get on me for when I put remember I covered Zach Pierce covered the single A, covered the double A state championship, and this guy made some comment about, hopefully this will convince you to put your stories out for free.
That's so
like, are you freaking stupid? Honestly. And then he comes back at me. He's like, now I'm all for the MSH, for not giving you guys a thing. I'm like,
listen, I'll go on my own rant here. Journalism costs money. Good journalism costs more money. Good journalism that requires travel and expertise costs even more money. Why are we the only business that people expect to get the product for free?
I mean,
it's so stupid.
You pay for when you watch CNN or Fox or whatever, you're paying for that. When you go into Nordstrom, you don't walk out with clothes because you think that they should give it to you for free. This is the same thing. We are spending a fortune on salaries and travel. The only thing we ask is $30 a year. Okay, that's less than a price of coffee. And so like I don't, and then you say that to somebody in a nice way, and then all of a sudden you're attacked by other people. Like get the heck out of my life. So I'm glad to get rid of people.
Absolutely.
Then this guy the other day, just out of the blue, I'm on an off day, on a very stressed day. He doesn't know what's going on in my life, if I got something personal, like, if I'm sick, if I got somebody else sick or whatever. But I take one game off where I still am cool enough to at least watch the game and tweet from it. But I've made it very clear that Chad's doing it. And this guy comes at me and goes, I can't even get the score from your Twitter account. He's online. I can't even get scored. Maybe I'll quote unquote, which was a dig, subscribe to your better feed. Oh. So I'm like, you know what? I was off. I said in a nice way, I'm off tonight. I try Google, meaning the point is you're freaking online right now tweeting me. There's 1,000 places you can get the freaking score. Yep. And then he comes back at me with, I didn't expect a snarky response after he made the comment that he should subscribe to a better feed out of the blue, unsolicited. And then made some comment, well, maybe I'll just go and subscribe to Sarah McClellan or something. So I said, be my guest, and I got rid of the person. But like, I don't understand where these people just think out of the blue that they could just come at you and just nasty. Like, what has happened to our society?
I'm going to go really big picture here. I think what we've discovered, and if you read freaking newspapers, I mean, The Athletics is a sports site and has very good people. Star Tribune is a general news organization that has a good sports department, but also we cover everything else. If you read newspapers the way I do, there is more we have had it highlighted to us how many addiction problems there are in our country, how many mental health problems there are in our country, and you know what? Social media is the most easily accessible outlet for anybody who has problems.
Yeah. And so I try, like I've gotten, and I don't know if you, have gotten the same way. You probably don't because you're trying to also run a business on your Twitter account. But like to me, it's like if I feel like at all, and even if like and I feel bad because I'm sure there are loyal people that read me that just caught me at a bad moment when they were a jerk. But I just get rid of them because life's too short. Yep. 2 days
and you
ago.
know what? Even running a business, I don't want those people in my life or involved in my business.
Right.
So,
but I mean, it just life is just so much bigger. People are sick. I just wrote about Tom Curvers the other day. Somebody, a loved one passed away. That's just a horrendous story that I know. And you just try to if you're getting stressed, I just got rid of. I was talking to this kid named Scott Hellman. He's a famous singer, especially up in Canada. Actually, he's a kid. He's like 25 or something. Listen to his music. He's really, really talented. But I just happened to be on a plane with him the other day, or a couple weeks ago, flying from Winnipeg to Banff, and I was talking to him and his band when we got to Calgary. And he was really close with Mike Taylor, who is in Walk Off the Earth, that I was really friends with, and we were talking about just again. Here's a fit 40-something, 50-year-old guy, 2 young kids, just dies in his sleep, just totally random. Like life's too short, and so that's to get into a convoluted way. It's just like why it's to me. It's like I don't
waste your time with somebody tweeting hate at you, and you
so
don't even
people
know.
like to say that I've got thin skin and all that stuff, but it's to me, it's like it's my Twitter account, and that guy might have been a jackass and made some snarky comment about quote unquote, it was a dig at The Athletic. Maybe I should subscribe to your better feed. Like to me, it's like if that bothers me to the point that it actually is now in my head for the next 5 minutes or 5 hours, then like I don't want to ever see that person again. And if that guy happened to be a subscriber to The Athletic, you know what? I'll buy somebody else their own subscription and make up for it. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just don't need that. And so,
and you can afford to buy subscriptions. Yeah. You have Mike Greenlay working for you for free.
Yeah. It actually bothered, yeah, exactly. Although maybe I'll buy him lunch. So.
All right, we're going to awkwardly end it. Thanks for listening to our silly rants about, not silly rants, but our rants about all kinds of stuff. I will indicate on the promo for this.
We actually should have like a little athletic, a little Russo-Souhan show, little party here of our loyal listeners.
We should. Let's do it. That's a great idea.
Yeah, get Vicky and Clyde over here.
Well, next time we have a live show, we'll tell people, hey, we'll pick a date and we'll have everybody come over here for it.
Yeah, maybe Russo slacks.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Absolutely. The piranha will get him, though, going over the moat.
And then what I could do is I could have everybody do work around the house.
I knew there was something like that coming.
Pretty little city built on a hillside. Music in the bars and fire in the sky. We went to the beach and it was covered in ice. And I used to call it home. So much coming out, there's no